We beat Eintracht Frankfurt 1-0 with the most epic goal you've ever seen right after this. Hello, my friends. Welcome in. It's 2022 officially. I know I have content that's probably come out already in 2022, but as of recording, like, ooh, I can actually confidently say we're in 2022. Let's make it a great year. Hit that like button, subscribe. Our goal is to somehow get to 10,000 subscribers. Got some work to do. 6,500 is the first hurdle, but we beat Eintracht Frankfurt, my friends. This is a throw-in here from Patrick. It looks like it's going to Rotundo. Let's just watch. Rotundo, ball in. Gelhardt, oh, doink! That happened really fast. Ball across the box. Oh, it's so good. Just watch it again. The unexpected Marcin goal just for being in the right place at the right time. The clearance straight into his face. Now, I saw a Premier League, I think it was a Premier League game recently where a guy took a shot from like relatively close range straight to the face, and it looked like it might have like knocked him out. He was down for a little bit, he got back up, of course. Concussion protocol. Why would we look at that guy, on the sideline? He's fine. I'm impressed that Marcin was able to run off and yay, it's like that got rifled into his face and somehow went in, and we beat Eintracht Frankfurt 1-0. Unexpected. We did lose to Stuttgart 2-0, which doesn't really surprise me. If you look here, they are 4th. Eintracht at the time was 8th. Yeah, we're still in the fight, my friends. We've got a game in hand against all the teams above us, but Augsburg also have the same game in hand. So we got a 5-point gap to the playoffs as it sits right now. But if we somehow win our next game, right, we would jump to 10th, which is kind of insane. Or no, maybe we would jump to at least 12th from 15th. So it's very, very tight. I feel like it's a little bit like last year where it's like there wasn't a whole lot after you got past the, Europa Conference League or the 7th place spot. So in this episode, we're actually not going to play Feyenoord. I've got youth intake to show you. I want to answer the question of why haven't you signed more players or loaned more players? And we've also signed a player. Oh no. Oh, I'm just the comment section. Yeah, let's go talk. This is one of the screens that you don't want to be involved in. You want to get the one that's like in a fight for a continental spot. What we have the relegation scrap approaches. I just went over our games, but I just thought I would show you what the rest of the teams look like, right? So Augsburg actually has a pretty decent run here. They do have Leipzig and Dortmund, so you'd probably chalk those up as losses for them. But they've got 4, including us, winnable games, and maybe 3 winnable games, not including us. So you would expect them to maybe be able to climb out of that spot. St. Pauli are pretty much toast, I think. They play us and then 10th and 17th, but they also play 5th and 1st. I don't think. Oh, there's not enough points. There are 14 points. They're done. So they're not gonna survive. FC Cologne, I think, have a really tough run. Now those might be quasi winnable games again, but I just think it's kind of an interesting bit of information that they give you. So our run here, is okay, but that Wolfsburg and the Armenia game, troublesome. I've gotten back a little bit in time to show you. When I was recording episode 34, this popped up, but it wasn't important enough to stop and go over. We've had another youth intake. Only a good youth intake. That's really disappointing. I think we need to sack our head of youth development. Sorry, mate. We only do excellent youth intakes here, so I'm pretty disappointed. Tom Bricks, which is an interesting name. Low determination right winger. Another diminutive 5'4" right winger. We've already got one of those, man. But, he's all right. Okay. Lucas Kruken, who can play. Look at that. Like, I love how random that is. It's like he can play DM or a 10 or a left winger or a center back, but he's played a couple times in central midfield. That didn't go very well. And the attacking winger, I know the orange dot doesn't mean it didn't go very well, but you see, like, I just love that it's like he's played all over the place, but he's unambitious, left-footed. I love a left-footed player. I just think that's kind of like, that is an interesting player to bring into the team. Another Turkish left back, fickle, but he's promising. So we have a Turkish left back pipeline. It's amazing. Damir Vistica. Realist, right-footed, very brave. Loves a bit of bravery. 6'2". I think he's probably better suited here than the right back lads, right? Or maybe a DM, but with that 4 passing, he looks to me like not even, I mean, I guess he could go, he's got some work to do. Let's just put it that way. So, some other ones in here. I like that, even though they don't have the highest potential, we do have some guys that are listed as 1.5 star already, which is actually not incorrect. The Bosnian striker up here, also like the unambitious group of players that have come through. That's fantastic, but he's not going to get that much better, which is kind of disappointing. Now, maybe if we played him, that might get bumped up here a little bit. And this is the last one I'll show you. Another goalkeeper, 1.5 to 3 stars. He's all right, but you never know. You never know. Maybe they improve. Hear me out. Daryl DK. At one point, Orlando City wanted like 20 million for Daryl DK. He's now 23, so I'm a little worried. But this popped up in the scouting network as they were taking offers. They transfer listed him because he refused to sign a new deal. Daryl DK got traded to LAFC from Orlando City, so it was a trade. They wanted whatever. At one point, it was like 10 to 14, and I think another point was like 14 to 17. And then another one was like 20 to 23. Like, they wanted stupid money for this guy. And then they trade him. So I don't know what that trade looked like, if they got any compensation out of it, or if they got a 20 million player out of the deal. But LAFC has sold him to us for 3.2, rising to 3.9, plus 10% profit off the next sale if we make one. He's going from 2.1 grand to 40 grand a week as a squad player with a minimum fee release clause in the Champions League of 20 million. If we get relegated, 8 million, because we'll be wanting to offload expensive players anyway. I don't know if this is a smart idea. We're not going to be able to get Joe Gelhardt. We're just not. The loan option is like 675 grand a month, playing to 1.3 million, not playing, plus like forcing us. They've now bumped it up to like 24 million. Or no, I think I showed that to you. They don't even want to loan him out now. So it's like, if we want to buy Joe Gelhardt, we're going to have to spend like 25, 30 million just to get him off of Leeds, which I'd love to do. That just doesn't seem very realistic. So instead I go, okay, we get an American guy here. He's got the connection with Joe Scally, right? We're going to develop these guys. He can play striker, obviously. He can't play anywhere else. That's pretty... I'm insightful. But if you look at his attributes, as an inside forward on the right, he could do a job if we needed him to. So he could rotate it, because what I don't want to do is take Marson's spot, okay? We do want young Marson. I'm not even going to attempt his last name right now. The one that I just showed you, the goal boinking off of his face. We want to give him the chance to be the backup to Xerxes. So I'm not trying to replace him. I'm trying to replace Joe Gelhardt with a guy who doesn't play right inside forward and make him a right inside forward, because I think like runs with the ball down the right, shoots with power, 6'2", like great guy in the box, great guy if you're trying to just clear it to get it to a tall guy out on the wing, decent finishing, good mentals, 23, international experience. And again, I can't pull up I want to say the inside forward is dribbling, finishing, first touch, long shots is a 12. So all those are in the yellows, okay? Maybe passing, but definitely technique. Like, he's got the physical attributes to do this. Now, can we retrain him is a completely different thing. Either way, I just said 3.2 million to rise into 3.8, 3.9, whatever. 4 million for a guy of this quality, I think is class, especially at the age of 23. Now, you may be thinking, I wouldn't hold it against you, he's not that much better than Marvin. Right? And I had my, look at that. I had my attributes down. Get in. But he's got better long shots, better passing. Like, in the key things, I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake. When Daryl DK popped up, I'm an American U.S. men's national team fan. I'd like to see him do well. And I was like, I think he's a value. Like, even if we end up selling him for 10 million, or if he gets poached off of us for 20 million, that's a good thing. So comments recently like, where are all the signings? Why didn't you loan players? And I guess I should address that. I don't love loaning players. That's just not my play style. Especially at a club like Schalke, right? The whole idea with this is we're trying to use the youth, which I understand we haven't really done a whole lot of. But I think with the squad we have coming through right now, like again, this is a little bit in the past, right? But when you look at the squad, not a whole lot of youth in here. Malik is our only in the starting 11, but he's quite good. Now the problem is he's worth 20 million as well, and or 15.5 to 20 million, and his release clause is 20 million. So do we offer Malik a new contract, even though we just offered him a contract like Joshua? Nassim has played a little bit this season, 15 total appearances. This I think is our left back of the future instead of the other Karim that we've loaned out. So there's an option. Like, it's taken a little bit to get, like, we kind of had to clear the dead wood. Marson obviously is a future starter for us. Abner Alou that we've had could come back and do a job, maybe to take Steve Cook's job. I'm not certain of that, but I think there's a chance. If we offer him a contract and say, mate, why don't you come on back? And he's not a starter, but he's the first guy off the bench at center back, 21 years old. Maybe he's in the mix. Mehmetcan Aydin, probably not going to work out. I haven't played him enough. That's really on me. We do need to sell him. This is the other Karim, who again, if you compare to the other Karim, now he's 21, so maybe it takes a little bit of time. Eric Lanfer, maybe. Metin Yilmaz, I think, is going to be the new Victor. So it's one of those things where I feel conflicted, where it's like, yes, I could go loan really good players. Now, if we get relegated, then my strategy has failed. So clearly, but I don't want to just load up on all these amazing players because we can fix the finances and the board's going to give us ridiculous wage budget. That's going to take away opportunity from these other guys, especially with the second team not working, which is a frustration of mine with FM. I have had to set up all of these friendlies. They don't play in a league for some reason. It's completely broken. So I can't just dump our, older than 19, but not good enough for the first team players into the second team and trust that they'll get minutes. So it's been kind of a bust in that standpoint. But yeah, that's why I haven't loaned in a bunch of players. I prefer to use our own players. That's why I haven't bought a bunch of players, because I thought, honestly, maybe that was a misinterpretation on my part. I thought we had a good enough squad this season to not be involved in a relegation battle. And clearly, adding David Hanko and Patrick and Divock Origi, in the middle of the season hasn't been enough to keep us safely out of that. So we'll have to see how it goes. I've made this episode very long. So with that transfer being done, this is what we end up with. We got 255 grand left in the transfer budget. We still have 70 grand in the wage budget. I just want to point out, next season's wage budget is apparently, assuming we don't get relegated, $1 million per week. And our minimum guaranteed budget in the transfer window will be 8.93 million. I don't know where they're getting the money. The debt load keeps going up because we keep, we keep buying players. I just said we haven't bought that many players, right? So we're back to 197 million. At one point we were down in the 170, so we got some work to do, and it probably doesn't help that I've just re-signed Joshua Zirkzee to a contract that kicks in at the end of the season, and obviously Divock Origi. So we kind of need Divock to be amazing, or Almoez to get poached. Almoez down to a 3-star, just in comparison to the rest of the team. But again, we got him on a free, so if we sell him for 6 million, that's not bad. I do think we do need to clean out some of these players. I do think maybe Sane gets one more season with us, but I do think the likes of even maybe Karim could get sold if we could get a good price. Mehmetcan Aydin could get sold if we can get a good price. Oliver is going to be leaving at the end of the season because he's old and falling apart. Let's be honest. But I just want to go through that with you, my friends, as to what's going on. Let me know what you think about that goal from Marson. And then I promise, next episode, doubleheader, Feyenoord. Let's do it. Do I want to know what you think about Daryl DK? Maybe. Should we sell Victor down to 2.5 stars? Should we just bite the bullet and get rid of Victor and then bring in Metin Yilmaz as the rotation option and Xavi Simons in as the ball-winning midfielder on support? What would you do? Like button. See you next time. Bye.